Tuko kwenye kikao and tunaongelea magari. Yes, we are talking cars and we are talking about rallying. Kenyan rallying is one of the most thrilling motorsport scenes we've got in this country, and it has several events. We've got AutoX, Rallycross, the classic rally, and the most iconic of them all, the Safari Rally. Today we are joined by one of the best rally drivers who's got several wins under his belt to give us an insight into this exciting and challenging motorsport. How are you, Sam?
I'm good. Matu, how are you?
I'm doing good. You are one of the most talented drivers we've got in this country. Kindly start by telling us who you are and how you got to join this rally scene.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. It's been a great experience being in motorsport. Yeah. And thank you for that. I don't know, there are very many talented drivers out there, but for us, we just do the best that we can with every opportunity that we have. Yeah. And we have been in rallying in Kenya since 2016. Mostly into clubman rallies, which is like a very good avenue for beginners to start. We usually have clubman rallies coming up once in a while. Yeah. The entry requirements are a bit more favorable compared to national rallying. We also took part in a few autocrosses, also from 2016, also in two-wheel drive category. Yeah, that was where we actually got our first sort of event win, winning the two-wheel drive category at Champagne Park Autocross in 2016. And yeah, well, good experience for us. Started to learn more about the car. And then eventually we decided to try a few national rallies. So it's been sort of a journey, learning all along. We started all with a very young team. And it's something that we love to do, pushing ourselves to the limits, pushing the car to the limits. And that's what motorsport is all about, I think.
Yeah. That's about the car that you are driving in your rallies, either autocross or during your rallies.
So we started with a Subaru Leon vehicle, which is was originally a four-wheel drive turbo car. Yeah. Though the previous owner of this car converted it to two-wheel drive. Since it was a bit advanced in age, it would be we thought it would be more fun and competitive, as well as easier to run the car in two-wheel drive category. Yeah. So it's a Subaru Leon 1991. As I said, it's front-wheel drive, 5-speed transmission, and it basically has the requirements that are required for a rally car. Yes. Yeah, the basic safety features.
We usually normally dress in like different attire. We just don't jump in suits or jeans and t-shirts. Why is it so?
So yes, in rallying, one of the most important things, it is a sport, and we don't want any injuries, or the aim is to avoid any accidents in the process. So the safety standards are very high. Apart from the vehicle, which has its own safety requirements, there is also the safety gear that is required for the driver and the co-driver. So there's the fireproof overalls, which in case of any fire or anything, at least it gives a bit of extra time to escape the incident. Of course, there's a helmet, fireproof shoes as well, and often fireproof innerwear. So that is just to ensure that the driver is as safe as possible, the crew are as safe as possible in case of any accident during the course of the event. There's also the head and neck safety device, which prevents like sort of whiplash, or in case of any incident, it keeps you well braced in an upright position. Now combined with the safety gear from the car, ensures that in case of any incidents, which could happen at any time when you're pushing at the limit, in most cases, it's at least the safety level is a lot higher in a rally car. The most basic of which is the roll cage. So there's the structural frame that is fitted to rally cars to make them much stronger in the case of a rollover, to prevent the car from caving in. That would be the first thing. Then the vehicles are also strengthened in order to go through the tough conditions that you experience in rallies. So you'll have underbody protection. There's stronger tires, rally tires, which are able to provide better traction and are stronger in case of rough conditions. then yeah, that would be probably the main thing. Then just making sure the car is in tip-top condition mechanically. Not too many differences. It's mostly on the safety side. Seats, the rally seats, rally seat belts. Fire extinguishers are also a part of that package. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's generally you have your own safety gear, and also the car gives you its own safety.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
In addition to that, it's quite loud in the car, so we have the intercom system to be able to communicate more effectively between the driver and the co-driver.
We all know that rallying is a very challenging sport. Which part of the rally has been the most difficult for you during the races?
You say what part of rally is the most difficult? I can start with probably the planning part of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of resources that are required to do rallying successfully. So the first challenge that you have to overcome is raising enough support or funding to be able to get into rallying. So that would be the first one. So usually we have to start with our own savings, and then we look for sponsors and supporters that can help us, push further ahead. Yeah, that's the first item. Then, yeah, there's a lot more areas that once you have that sorted, the biggest part of rallying, I think, is the preparation actually before the rally.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it, especially if you want to have a successful event. The preparation of the car, making sure that the car is in tip-top condition to complete whichever event it is. So that is just time in the workshop, going through every area before the event to make sure that the car will be able to withstand the grueling conditions of that event. That would be the main thing, yeah.
That's been the main challenge.
Yes.
Yeah. When you're doing your races, we see two people in the car, you and the co-driver. Can you kindly explain to us why and what does it do apart from reading for you the pace notes?
So in a rally, it's always about teamwork, and the first people that we see are the driver and the co-driver. And the partnership starts from in the preparation phase, understanding each other, getting comfortable with the car, probably doing a test session to get a bit of a flow with each other in terms of the delivery of the pace notes and working together. Then on the rally itself, the first major task that the co-driver has to do together with the driver is during the recce, where the two have to go out on the route and prepare route notes. So this is probably driving at a slower speed than the rally speeds. Using the organizer's road book, we follow the route, and the driver usually calls the notes as he sees the road, and the co-driver would record that in the pace note book. And then we do two passes of that. The first pass is to write, and then the second pass you go a bit faster and check that the notes are okay, make any further adjustments. At the same time, the co-driver is also assisting with documentation, liaising with the organizers. And then when it comes to the rally itself, one of the most important tasks is to basically keep the time card for the rally, which is where all the times and results for the event are recorded. And so the co-driver is often keeping the time card, making sure that we're following the correct schedule, we're getting the correct times for our stages. And if it's a service time, we don't go over our service time, because then if you go over your times, that could result in unnecessary time penalties. And of course, managing the service team, liaising with the organizers. So there's a lot that a co-driver has to do as well.
Okay. What's been your most memorable rally experience so far?
There have been very many good memories over the years since we have been rallying. So one of the probably the most memorable experience we had was in 2022, when we were grateful to receive the Minty support for classic rallying. We had the opportunity to drive a Datsun 180B, a classic rally car, rear wheel drive, with good support for that for the 2022 Mini Classic Rally. And everything from the preparations for a long marathon 3-day event. I think the best part was being in the car for stages that were over 100 kilometers in some of the best, enjoyable road conditions in Eldoret. That was a really great experience. And I think it's what rallying is about, being in the car. You get to push yourself to the limit, and with other competitors, and see what you can do and explore, as well as different parts of the country. I think we went, some very beautiful parts of the country in the car, which is, was a great experience. Really enjoyable.
What advice would you give to someone looking to get into rally driving?
The best advice is to get into rally driving is to just get involved in any way that you can. If you're passionate about it, there'll always be something, a way that you can get involved. Whether it's as a driver, co-driver, you could join part of a team and help with the team learn how the sport works. It's also possible to work with organizing teams in setting up events or volunteering for events such as the Safari Rally and other events that maybe could be close to you. Then I think once in terms of getting into it, one could now look at getting what is a good vehicle to start with, and one could look at a vehicle that could be either an autocross vehicle or a rally car that could be a good stepping stone. There are many good cars that one could look to get in order to start competing. In terms of advice, there's many places one can get advice. For me personally, I was able to learn a lot from Asa Anwar, and still learn a lot from him. And also for most of our team members we met while we were studying at the Abdul City Rally Academy, we learned a lot about co-driving, how time control works in a rally organization. So there's many avenues for one to get involved, and the best thing is just to start, go to an event, meet the people, talk to them, ask them how they started. And if I could highlight one of the easiest way to enter in terms of as a driver, we have the new Kenya National Tarmac Rally Championship by Delta Motorsport, for example, and there are many others as well. One can enter, it's on a controlled environment, either usually on a tarmac course or on a circuit, and pretty much almost any vehicle with the basic safety gear for the driver, like the helmet, any vehicle is allowed to enter into those events. One can start to experience competition, then take it from there, and there's a lot that one can do. Apart from real life racing, one can learn a lot from getting into sim racing. So there's many computer games which simulate real rally in the game. And so currently in rally we have EA Sports WRC. We have a good community of players who are taking part in that. There's also the new Kenya National E-Rally Championship on EA Sports WRC. It's a good way to learn about car control, learn about listening to the pace notes. For me, I started learning about pace notes through rally games back in the day when I was playing Richard Burns Rally. Learn about car control, things like left foot braking, handbrake turns.
Generally, it's all about seat time.
Yes, seat time. It does add you seat time, and at a much lower cost compared to going out with a car. And it's good fun.
When if Wanani, who is your number one rally driver, either past or present?
Okay, interesting question. I think in the World Rally Championship, I think at the era that I started following rallying the most was, I'd say, favorite driver would probably be Sebastian Loeb. I love the way he would be able to manage events, manage his pace, be almost flawless in his rallies, and the consistency is one of the main things in successful rallying. You don't have to be the fastest every single time, but if you can be consistent and pretty fast, you'll often find yourself at the top of the leaderboard. So I really admired his speed, his consistency, and that's something I'd like to emulate in any events that we do, is that meticulousness. Yes.
Tukimalizia hapa, I am aware you are letting off this car. Any new plans ahead? A new project? Are you joining rally anytime soon?
So this car has been really good to us, and currently it has been parked for a while. Not done any major events since let's say 2022, 2023. And so it's available in case anybody wants to make their start in rallying with this vehicle. And the good thing about it is that we'd be willing to support whoever that person is in understanding the car, understanding the events, supporting the person on those events. So we thought, instead of just having the car parked here, we're not using it at the minute, maybe somebody else could make good use of it. Yeah, and on our side, we'll see what we can do to maybe come back in the future with something newer, something better, if all goes well in the later future. And yeah, at the minute, seeing what we can do with sim racing and still following the sport as much as we can, looking out for opportunities. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sam, for giving us your time. We've learned a lot about you and your rally car.
Thank you very much for the opportunity and for having us.
Yeah. Hajaisikia hii. Ni kama hajaisikia hii.